Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, AEW Dynamite. We're going to talk all things AEW. Got some big ticket sale numbers for Wembley Stadium.
Huge.
We've got cancellation of AEW shows. Which ones? Find out. It's probably the ones that you've already heard about. An exciting new hiring behind the scenes there at AEW. And, of course, all the whole rundown for the show itself in advance of the upcoming Double or Nothing at the end of this month.
Indeed.
Where do you want to start, Larson? Lots to unpack today.
There is. Let's start with the fun topic of ticket sales and show cancellations, because why not?
Yeah, sure.
So, we talked about, I think last week, towards the end of last week, the fate of AEW Dark Elevation. And that Fight TV said, no more.
No mas.
Well, apparently it's not just Elevation that's no more, according to Andrew Zarian, because it looks like both Dark and Elevation, both of AEW's YouTube programs, are no more. This is apparently part of a deal made with Warner Brothers Discovery when it came to introducing AEW Collision to their broadcasting schedule. Because now, going forward, apparently all AEW programming is going to be exclusive for Warner Brothers Discovery stations, properties, networks. And then Zarian, though, states that Ring of Honor is apparently not affected by that. Fightful Select noted that it seems like, because for the longest time, especially during pandemic, the one of the great things about Dark and Elevation is they bring people from the indies in to have a match or two, usually to do a squash match or an enhancement match. And then we saw a lot of those people stick around, sign contracts.
Sure. Yeah.
Some eventually became champions. With Powerhouse Hobbs. He was one of the talents that was brought in during the pandemic era YouTube shows on AEW, and has found a pretty significant role on AEW's television. Apparently Ring of Honor is going to be used in that capacity now. For bringing in talents that AEW might be interested in either just bringing in on a part-time or a per appearance deal, or eventually signed. Or we hear mentions Willow. That's another talent that was brought in for Dark and Elevation that eventually signed a deal with AEW. And so in that sense, where Dark and Elevation were a means by which independent talent could make their way into a national wrestling company. It's kind of a bummer that path isn't there anymore. But if Ring of Honor is kind of serving the same purpose, hopefully it hasn't closed off that path altogether.
Ring of Honor is 2 solid hours of wrestling. I kind of feel like, and I know sometimes, Dark alone was that length, sometimes longer.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's been at recently because I don't watch. But you would think that makes sense because they do the Ring of Honor stuff while the brand is while AEW is traveling. And so that still seems to be what I think they do, don't they? Don't they?
Yeah,
film
Ring
of Honor?
They do some Ring of Honor tapings, I think, in
Universal?
Orlando at Universal, and they do some on the road too.
Okay, I mean that still you would think would give some opportunities for some people to come in. Given that they don't use the rankings anymore, it's not like they can use Dark and Elevation to pad the stats for wrestlers that they want to push. I mean, I always thought it was sort of silly when, the Gun Club back in the day had a 23-0 record, but we never saw them on TV. And then they show up on TV and it's like, ooh, what? The Billy Gunn's kids have a really good record? Since when?
They were undefeated for a stretch, yeah.
They were, yeah. And it was just against scrubs on Dark and Elevation. Sorry, local enhancement talent on Dark and Elevation. But so I don't know, even using it in that capacity to sort of build up people from a storyline perspective was never all that effective. But yeah, in terms of getting people reps with a proper TV setup, even if it was being shown on YouTube, I thought seemed to be pretty helpful. But if you can achieve that to a lesser degree, even on Ring of Honor, then cool, do that.
Yeah, and I wonder too if with AEW doing short house show tours, that's another way that younger talent can get more reps, or just talent that wants to stay fresh, that wants to wrestle more than once a week, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So in that sense, if you're doing house shows once a month. That's an opportunity as opposed to wrestling on darker elevation. So as long as there's opportunities for people to wrestle and make money, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Farewell, Dark and Elevation.
Yes, you want to talk
We hardly knew you.
Yeah, I know.
We hardly watched you.
I know. It's like a handful of matches I watched on Dark and Elevation. Let's talk ticket sales. That's exciting stuff. Wembley, all in London, sold a ton of tickets. I think the first day it was around 35,000.
It was a lot. Yeah,
and then it was up to 45,000 or so yesterday. I haven't seen an update today, but tomorrow is the general on sale.
Yeah,
the public on sale. So, 60,000 could be the number by the end of the weekend.
Okay, let's see here. I'm looking for Dave Meltzer is tweeting a lot about ticket sales for this, and I thought he had he's just debating the various attendance numbers with people on
He does
Twitter.
that. He does that quite a bit too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I thought he said 53 was the current number, but I could be
I
completely
thought I saw
wrong
that
about
too, but I couldn't find that anywhere. I just know Tony Khan yesterday tweeted.
Okay. So one
45.
day ago, Meltzer says, right now Wembley's at 43,000 for 5.7 million.
Okay.
But there might have been an update since then. I don't know. So
without a match being announced, that's not too shabby.
My God, that's really good. I think we both said, 40 sounds like a success. 50 would be like over the moon about that, right? And now it looks like they might. I don't know, man. I mean, it's still what? And it's not till August.
End of August. It's
the end of August.
3 months, yeah.
So man, oh man, they've got a lot of time to whatever the number would be for a sellout to achieve that number.
It's like 90,000.
Is it actually not? Is the capacity 90,000?
Depending on the setup for the stage and all that and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know if taken into account had been announced. If what the capacity was announced.
I don't know. I don't know if on the ticket website with Ticketmaster or whatever, if they have the map set up for how the show's actually going to be, or just here we'll open the entire stadium, and then if we, we'll sell these blocks first where we know that no stage is going to be. And if it looks like, well, we're not going to get the full 90,000, then we could do, adjust stuff for the stage and whatnot.
Yeah. Somebody here on, who is this? YouTube here. I want to point this out really quick because some people get up in arms about this. And I'm not saying he is. The Happy Gamerino says, why aren't they using the AEW header anymore? Because I changed it and I haven't done the AEW one yet. Because I put the big red logo in the middle here, and that wasn't on the old one. But I'm getting there. I'm going to do an AEW header at some point. I'll do it. I
mean, it's still wrestlers. This is wrestling show. So as long as wrestlers, it's
some of these people are like friends with AEW. People like Owens and Zane.
Yeah.
They're friends with some AEW people.
Yeah.
So you never know.
It's clear it's a wrestling show.
I'm sure Asuka might end up at some point in AEW. I could see that.
Maybe.
Bianca, I don't think so. Rhea, no. Dom, no. Gunther, no. Maybe Gunther. Probably not,
Gunther.
Though.
Maybe.
If Vince is
But here's the
back,
thing, too. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
When you just have one overlay, you can't mess up the overlay for the show.
Right. I know. Exactly. Yeah. I got to get it right every time.
Yeah. Steve's not getting anything wrong.
Maggie's yelling at me right now. Maggie, I mean, it's possible that Becky Lynch goes to AEW. I'll be honest with you.
Possible.
Charlotte, Becky. Yeah. Probably.
Possible.
Hopefully they like
Likely,
her.
no. Possible, absolutely.
Yeah. Somebody who did go to AEW, though, Will Washington. He did a bunch of stuff for Fightful. Apparently he's been podcasting. I saw the number 18 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know podcasting was around for 18 years.
Yeah.
So that's awesome for Will. Seems like such a lovely guy. Every interaction we've had with him has been incredibly positive. And just a smart guy and a great mind to have behind the scenes at AEW. So, hopefully you hire good people. Maybe good things will happen over there at AEW. What do you say?
Yep. Congratulations to Will. Let's talk Dynamite last night. I guess the major thing coming out of Dynamite. So they took the roundabout path to get there, the scenic route, to finally get this 4 pillars fatal 4-way match at Double or Nothing in the main event for the AEW title. You got MJF, you got Sammy Guevara, you got Jungle Boy, you got Darby Allin. And I haven't always been exactly enthused about the road to get here. But I thought a lot of the interactions between all four principals in this match last night was fairly well done, because it wasn't just the four of them in the ring talking with the microphone. They're backstage segments for the most part.
Yeah.
And the match was relatively well booked.
Oh, it was a really good match. Yeah. It was
and in the end,
match.
MJF just can't get out of his own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
no,
and it was teased earlier with the Sammy Guevara bit where he almost called him a little bitch.
Yeah.
So, no, I thought, from a creative standpoint, it has been the most fulfilling storyline. But last night, I thought it was handled pretty well.
No, man, I agree. I think, my main issue with it, and I don't want to dive like straight into the negatives or anything, but I will say this for the positives. I thought by the end of the main event, crowd was really into it. We had the big moment where, now it's going to be all four of the pillars. I think that's awesome. I just thought there was some. I like characters to sort of act relatively consistent to what we see. So like the very first promo we got in this whole Pillars storyline, I thought Sammy Guevara, being very earnest about his ambitions and about his case to be made for main eventing Double or Nothing, I thought was really good stuff. I was like, he's sort of dropping the bullshit and he's there on a mission to get that title. That's his thing.
Yeah.
And then when they went to, he's willing to take a stupid paycheck to lay down in the main event, and they're doing the goofy stuff where they're hugging, very sort of Chris Jericho-ish stuff, doing the comedy stuff, and obviously they're both sort of proteges of Chris Jericho. Jericho always kind of knew when to compartmentalize, though, the comedy and the drama. And I thought Sammy coming out with such intensity in that first promo and then doing the friends hug stuff, I thought within the span of one single storyline just was disingenuous to me from a character standpoint.
Well, I mean, I was hopeful that was all a ruse on Sammy's part to make MJF feel comfortable, to guarantee himself that main event spot. And in the end, he wasn't going to lay down for him. And in that sense, it would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for him to think MJF is manipulating him. But no, Sammy's the one manipulating MJF. But it doesn't seem like that was ever...
That didn't seem to be that wasn't really the deal. The deal was he actually wanted to lay down for him, and it was silly.
Yeah.
So that was my main issue with the entire storyline. I thought that the stuff between Darby and Jack Perry was pretty good. I mean, Jack still needs to work a lot on like building a personality and a character for his character. But I've liked Darby in this. I thought by the end of it, decent enough way to get us to this thing. I think they probably could have gone a different route, but the twists and turns or whatever, in the end, the match was really good and it got us to where we want to go with all four of these guys main eventing Double or Nothing, which I think will be probably an absolutely killer match.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. The match itself will be fun. Whether the road getting there was the most satisfying, the match itself should be pretty fun. We got 10 gifted memberships here from Alicia Harding over on the YouTube. Thank you so much.
Alicia, oh my goodness gracious.
Thank you.
That is so generous. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Also, we saw the return to Hikaru Shida last night.
Yeah.
And seemingly at first aligning with the Outcast, only to swerve them. And align with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, homegrown talent. It's always great to see Shida on our television. The whole segment was booked pretty well. In the end, it was the Outcast getting spray painted. AEW on them instead of L's. So it seems like in terms of on one side on the homegrown talent, you got 3 former women's champions. Shida, Britt, 2 former, 1 current, and Jamie, against Tony, Saraya, Ruby. So that's I would imagine some sort of 6-woman tag match coming up here pretty soon.
You think that might be the Double or Nothing match?
It could be.
I mean, if they do that as like, I don't know, a cage match or something like that, I think that could be a lot of fun. Add some sort of cool stipulation to it like that. I was hoping that they would do Blood and Guts because it's around this time they usually do that. However, there hasn't been really a tease. Well, storyline wise, there's been a bunch of teases because you have the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club. But so I guess there's a possibility now, given that Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite, there was, I thought there was more. I think it's got to be clear that Callis is aligned with the Blackpool Combat Club. Like the promo stuff with Kenny and him, I was like, oh, they're making it really kind of obvious at this point that Callis is with them. So let's go back to the Outcast versus the Homegrown talent. If they added a fourth to each one, I mean, is Willow too obvious? Is Willow a name enough, or should they? Look, we both know what they should do. They should do Jade Cargill.
Yes.
I mean, God, that would be amazing. Come on.
Yes.
And it's
I mean,
so obvious.
there was a tweet exchange this week between Saraya and Jade. So,
what was that about? I didn't see.
I don't remember the exact nature of it, but it was something to do with storyline stuff. So,
okay, that'd be killer. I mean, come on, why
be.
not do that? That makes all the sense in the world.
I mean, like if the Outcast brought Athena,
which was going to be my suggestion.
And to gain the numbers advantage, and then Homegrown talent are like, well, we need someone to match the power of Athena,
right? Yeah,
and then they turn to Jade,
and everybody's like, holy shit, thank God, finally, what Steve and Larson have been talking about this whole time. Yeah,
totally. I mean,
she is the most homegrown successful talent they have.
Yeah,
it's like her and the Acclaim. That's it. Like that's what they have, man. Come on, just do it. It makes all the sense in the world.
I know. Yes, exactly.
Like Shida's not even really homegrown. Like she made a whole career before AEW. And she's I forget who it was last night. I was like, oh yeah, she's totally homegrown. Like they said that. I was like, I mean, she had a
commentary
whole career.
said that. Yeah.
Like she had an entire career before this.
Yeah,
but
that's
wildly
successful
like
career before AEW. Yeah.
She achieved her most popularity here in the States.
I mean,
in AEW.
What the storyline is wrestlers who have been in WWE versus those who have not.
That's exactly what it is.
That's the story.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been in WWE, then you're homegrown AEW talent.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Homegrown on cable TV, I guess, is the thing.
Yeah. So I mean, if they have the 6-woman tag match, Outcast not content to not have the numbers advantage, bring in Athena, and then I guess the homegrown talent can start the recruiting process to try to have Jade join them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which would be awesome because you need Jade to start getting in storylines with those women because she's had like no interesting stories for a while. Like the Taya thing, at least it was something. It was about who could use their shared finisher, which is the most interesting thing, but it was something.
It was something. Yeah. It was something. And I still feel like they're gonna do another match there where that finish is on the table and for everybody, and Jade's going to win that one as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully just in time for, if they do blood and guts. Like, people unfairly criticize Jade Cargill for, her wrestling skills. Well, I mean, if you want to give her a fresh challenge, if you want to, add something awesome to her resume, blood and guts. Let's see what she can do in there, man. That sounds awesome. That sounds great.
Well, it's that, and then start getting his stories with what is right now the main event scene in the women's division in AEW.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Jade is a star.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And she could very easily be a massive superstar if they start getting her involved in actually interesting stories and start getting her involved in the main event scene.
Do you think one of the main issues is? And look, I've said this a million times before, booking wrestling is hard. If you have a huge star who's on an undefeated streak, that also poses a huge problem. I know yesterday we were posed that question where it comes to Roman Reigns. Well, Roman's a little bit different because he's got the entire bloodline and they're just telling really compelling stories.
Yeah.
With Jade, it is a bit of a Goldberg situation where the best they can come up with back in the day was a cattle prod and Kevin Nash beating him. Well, you don't want to go there again. But Jade being champion, undefeated, that's I'll just say this. That's not a terribly easy thing for anybody. I mean, you see how they goofed up on Wardlow wasn't even undefeated.
Yeah.
He had taken 2 losses during his time with MJF.
Yeah.
But it's still for anybody, Braun Strowman, that's always a difficult thing to crack, creatively speaking, is somebody who's so dominant. Well, it's like you want to also protect other people, and how do you not have this person steamroll everybody and try to keep it interesting. That's the thing, is like keeping that shit interesting is difficult to do.
Mr. Dope here in chat brings up Asuka. Asuka in NXT, she was undefeated.
Yeah.
And it was still interesting.
And
in fact, when she lost on the main roster, it felt like a letdown.
Asuka made everything better because she's Asuka, and like she just whoops people's ass. I don't think it was all that interesting because Asuka never had her counter in NXT. The closest they got was Athena. That was the closest they got. Asuka steamrolled everybody, and they never really had anybody for her to counter her.
Well, I mean,
they
with,
didn't.
With Ember Moon, Athena, I mean, Asuka kind of had to cheat to win to beat her.
I know, and they never explored that story.
Because
they never really
did. To vacate the title.
Yeah, and then she got called up right after that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it can't be done, and I'm not saying it's a reason not. I'm not saying it's a reason not to. I'm advocating for it. Not the easiest thing to do, historically speaking.
No, I agree with you there.
And you have to take a couple risks with that. Somebody's got to take a loss. Whether it's Jade, whether it's Jamie Hayter, whether it's Saraya, somebody's got to take a loss in all this. And and wrestling promoters are often so hesitant to do that. Got to pull the trigger at some point.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do something with it.
That's true.
Yeah. So anyways, you want to go ahead and pay some bills here real quick?
Let's do it.
All right. Give me 1 second here. I got to do a little thing. I do this, and then I bring up the name of our sponsor this week, which is, of course, BetterHelp. We're going to take a quick break here because Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, Larson, it can be pretty easy to get caught up in what everyone needs from you. Whether it's work, family, or friends. You can spend so much time giving that you start feeling stretched too thin and burned out because you can't find the time to take a moment to think about what you need from yourself.
Yeah, I've been there before. When I was in my mid-20s, I had lost that balance, and I was feeling pretty overwhelmed by life and started dealing with severe anxiety. And it got to the point where I realized that I had to go to therapy. And it took me a few tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to, but once I did, I learned the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety. So if you're looking to bring some balance back to your life, therapy can help you learn the tools you need so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try.
BetterHelp is entirely online and is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. And all you got to do to get started is fill out a brief online questionnaire, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. So AEW began with Orange Cassidy and his new best friend Bandito and Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, baby, versus the Jericho Appreciation Society team of, what was it, Hager, 2.0, and Garcia.
Correct.
Yeah.
Entertainers.
Chris Jericho, he's got so Britt Baker has a shirt now. It just has a big shiner on her eye after the big attack. Without context, I don't know if you want to wear this shirt out and about.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't. No.
like if there's any shirt that kind of needed some like context to it,
I know.
Britt Baker, awesome, tough wrestler, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
This isn't just a picture of a woman with a black eye that makes people unsettled when they see it out of context. Maybe put that on there.
Yeah, exactly. Context, some context. Yes. Adam Cole gets the win here. Pinning, I think, cool hand Ange Parker after dropping the boom. Man, when Roddy got that hot tag, I missed that. I miss all the backbreakers.
Oh, yeah, when he comes in and just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. So Adam Cole gets the win. As soon as the bell rings, he get that 3 counts counted. He starts sprinting up the ramp towards commentary where Jericho's sitting. It tackles him through the curtain they have set it behind commentary. Starts getting some ground and pound. Security comes and separates them, and they eventually escort Adam Cole out.
That's the kind of urgency that you need.
Yep.
I love that. When he came running, he was like, got the pin. I'm going to go tackle this guy who's wearing a shirt.
Because before the match, like Jericho, Judas played. He came out, and Adam Cole just could not. He just, you could tell he just wanted to run out there right there. Actually, during the match, he started going up the ramp.
To
try to get after Jericho, but Daddy Magic popped him with a forearm.
Do you know what makes my nipples hard? So anyways, after that, we see, so security separates them. And then, so later on is where we're backstage and they kick Cole out. But before that, we had Renee interviewing Darby and Jungle Boy. Renee says, hey, how you feeling about teaming up together? Jungle Boy says, well, Renee, Darby and I might not like each other too much. We got a couple things in common. You and I have been here since day one of AEW. We busted our asses to get this moment right here, right now. But you and I haven't main evented a pay-per-view either. But tonight, we're going to change that. We're going to main event Double or Nothing for the world title. And then Darby says, this is it, Jack. I don't know how we get there. We're walking into Double or Nothing number one. I don't care how we get there. We're walking into Double or Nothing number one contenders. And me or you are walking out with the gold. Because tonight, it's showtime.
Why is Darby giving Jungle Boy any sort of chance of becoming AEW world champ? Should he be like, yeah, we're both going there, but I'm walking out world champ?
You know, man, you can't be pissing off your partner right before you're getting your opportunity, you know. He was like, yeah, last week it didn't work. Let's just get through this, and then I'll be like, hey, I'm the man.
Thank you. That's the explanation I was hoping you'd give.
What did you think it was?
No, I was just curious how you read that, because that's how I read it too.
Oh yeah. It's like, I'm not gonna piss this guy off right now.
I'll just wait. We'll win this match, and then whatever. Then I could.
He wants to
punch him right in the face. Yeah.
He wants to punch him right in the punchable face. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Then we're backstage. The camera crew's following as Adam Cole is escorted out of the building by security. And Jericho's following, yelling at him, get Adam Cole out. And then Britt comes in. He starts yelling at Jericho and slaps the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, what are you going to do? Where's your crew now?
Yeah, where's your crew now,
huh?
And he just screams, like, get him out of here.
Yeah. He's like laying on the ground.
After that, Bryan Danielson talks a lot of shit about Bret Hart. It was kind of hilarious.
It was great.
He says
there's
a legendary wrestler. I'll do Danielson. You could do Mox's rambling bit.
All right, I'll do Mox.
Yeah. Danielson said, there's a legendary wrestler who used to say that he's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And I always thought how egotistical that you don't think there's going to be anybody in the future better than you. Well, here's the thing. I am better than that legend ever was. I am better than any wrestler who ever came before me. I'm the best wrestler in the world today, and if I'm not, it's one of these men. But here's one thing I know 100% for a fact. There will be wrestlers in the future better than me because of what we built. In fact, I hope this little shit, I hope Wheeler Yuta that he's a better wrestler than I ever was. That's the difference between us and the elite. We want to push people. We want people to be better than us. We want AEW to be the best wrestling company as ever has been, and we're willing to do anything to make that happen.
And then Mox, because they're like a stairwell, and kind of slides past Danielson using the handrail. He goes, we are just blades searching for pieces of iron to sharpen each other. The elite, you should be thanking us for sharpening you as we sharpen each other. You don't like the way we do things? You think we're bullies? No, we ain't bullies. There was a time when the elite was innovative, when they were on the cutting edge of pro wrestling, and now, I don't know. Next week, Steel Cage, Moxley, Omega. That just hits different, doesn't it? 2019, 2020 may have been a decade ago. Every day, we get better. Every day, we get more dangerous. I got a whole lot of new tools and a lot of new weapons and a new version of John Moxley I can't wait to show you, Kenny. We're going to find out what 2023 Kenny is all about in a steel cage, and I promise you this, we're going to leave one hell of a mark.
All right, let's break that down a little bit.
Kenny's getting busted open.
Oh, yeah, big time. A whole new version of John Moxley is going to be like some sort of like half cyborg John Moxley. Is that what we're talking about?
You know, John Moxley was Dean Ambrose, was absorbed by Rawgate Mutant.
He was, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So it might get, or it could be, of course, Bryan Danielson is Daniel Bryan, Fleshmech.
Oh man, that's right. This is the unholy alliance.
If we got viewers or people that just listen to the show for like a couple of weeks, because we are a new podcast, by the way, people are like, "What the hell are these fools talking about?"
Rawgate. What is Rawgate?
This is Rawgate Fleshmech. What the shit is that?
He was absorbed by a mutant. What are these old men smoking over there? Give me some. What are these civil servants smoking?
I know. That's what years working in the bureaucracy will do to you.
Oh, it makes you loopy, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, Kenny's getting busted open. Based on the promo later on with Kenny and Don Callis.
But it seems like it's a bit more than that, right? Like it's not just he's going to get incidentally busted open.
Don Callis is going to drive a screwdriver into his head.
Right. Something something messed up like that.
Yeah.
We get a little bit more of that. We get the counter to that. A little bit later, but first we had Saraya versus Willow Nightingale. And, of course, it's Willow versus 3 people in this match. So all that happens, and Saraya ends up getting the win here with the good night for the win. Tony and Ruby get in the ring, attack Willow. And Hikaru Shida comes down to the ring. She hugs the Outcast. People are like, no. She's handed the spray paint while the Outcast pick up Willow. But then behind them, so they're sort of facing Shida. They're like, yeah, do the spray paint thing. But behind them is Britt and Jamie Hayter. They show up. And Shida sort of looks at them all happy like, and they're like, what? What is she looking at? Oh, no, it's them. So they attack, and then Jamie hands Shida the spray paint after Shida took a kendo stick to the Outcast and sprayed Saraya in the face. And then Shida spray paints AEW on the out. It's good commentary told me what she spray painted, because I was like, is it going to be like H's for Homegrown? Is their name now going to be like the Homegrown Talent? Because that's a terrible nickname.
And they need something a little catchier as a faction name, yeah.
Right. I have no idea what that would be.
I don't know what it'd be either.
So maybe if somebody in chat has like a cool name for people who have been not in WWE,
yeah,
that would be helpful to us.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then if it's really good, then forward that on to Tony Khan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Then we had a House of Black promo.
Oh, I like this. This is good. House rules.
House rules. Malachi starts, says these titles are tainted, and they all throw the trios titles down. They serve as a reminder that in this company there are those that get away with murder and those who aren't punished for following the rules. And Julia says, we will not let tradition fade and call it talent. Buddy's next says, because change starts when people act. That being said, welcome to the open house. So I guess they just put their house on the market.
You ever just go to open houses?
Yeah, I've done that before.
I know. I like looking at houses.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they're so expensive these days.
They're ridiculous.
I can only ever afford to go back to like get my parents' house when they, when they're out of there, basically.
Yeah. So then Brody follows. No shortcuts, no escapes, no mercy. Any 3 competitors teaming up will have a shot at our titles. And Buddy says there's a catch. And then Julia then describes what house rules are. So there's not a 10-second count out. There's 20 seconds.
So to enhance the brutality. You can't escape. If you try to get out, we're going to go after you. We're going to beat you up on the outside. And we have 20 seconds now to do it.
Exactly. No rope breaks.
I like that, because what is Malachi said something like, feeling the pain is what makes you whatever.
Something, yeah. And this bit was a little nebulous. DQ is enforced, but it's dealer's choice. So you decide what the rule is.
What does that mean? Because I didn't understand.
Do their opponents get to decide if it's no DQ or not?
I guess so.
Okay, that's how I took it.
Okay, that's sort of how I took it as well. Yeah.
And then Malachi concludes, "Come one, come all, because the house always wins."
I like this, man. I was like, oh, that's cool. They got their own match stipulation. Somebody said they got new trios titles. Do they look new?
Oh, maybe that's why did they dump the old ones and have new ones?
Oh, I don't know. That's neat. I want to look at that. I want to see those. That'd be, if anybody had like custom titles, it'd be the House of Black. Those would be cool.
Yeah.
Some like gunmetal instead of like gold or whatever.
That'd be cool.
That'd be neat.
Some pewter.
Pewter would be awesome. Oh man. The opponents decide the stipulation. What would you, if you and I were in a house rules match, you, me, and the enforcer, what stipulation, they're like, oh, dealer gets to choose. What is your stipulation?
We'd create ourselves in WWE 2K23, and we'd max out all our abilities. And the stipulation is that we sim it in the game.
Yeah, okay.
New champions.
We sim it in the game, but also they have to eat like pizza.
Yeah.
Brody, I think, would be cool eating pizza. I don't know about Buddy. Buddy wouldn't eat pizza.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he eats a whole lot of pizza.
Malachi on cheat days. I don't think Buddy does cheat days.
No, I think you got to have a cheat day for your sanity. I mean, as massive as what Buddy is, he eats a lot of calories.
He does, yeah.
So,
I don't know. He's like, oh, no, I'm going to eat it. It's too much. What are you eating on your cheat days then? Chocolate cake?
maybe it's, he does the cauliflower crust.
Oh, that could be, yeah. I don't know.
And maybe no cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next, we had a trios battle royal, so we might have just figured out who the House of Black's next opponents are. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass won this particular battle royal. And they didn't say, commentary didn't say, explicitly winner of this faces House of Black, but it was like, hey, you win this, you got, you're like first in line to challenge.
You're in a good position right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that'd be pretty big for the Acclaim to win the trio. They gotta do something with the Acclaim, man.
Yeah. So it came down to Butcher Blade, Kip Sabian, and then Billy Gunn and Anthony Bowens. The finish saw Bowens and Daddy Ass hit Kip and Butcher with famishers and then threw him over the top rope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. We have a couple names here, potential names for the homegrown talent. These are all terrible.
All right.
Not going to read any of them. These are all really bad. I feel like y'all needed to bring like a better game here. Okay, here we go. Actually, Blackhorn Links says the Foundation.
Okay.
That sounded cool, but then I read it. I'm like, it just sounds like somebody who sponsors PBS.
Wasn't that Jonathan Gresham's thing?
And it's also Jonathan Gresham's thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why that's cool. But it also sounds like somebody, the Insiders. That was the TNA thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It was a WCW 2000 thing. I think it was DDP and Kevin Nash.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think. The OGs.
I mean, E-Dub's got it. E-Dub's got it. AEW Plus.
Heather said, we all know they're terrible, Steve. I know, but there's terrible and there's like unreadable. I can't. Oof. I'm joking. I love y'all. You're great. The plus deltas. No, that's Phil's group. That's Phil and the FTRs.
So next we had an interview with Sammy Guevara.
The OGs. I like the OGs.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
So Renee asks how Sammy's feeling, and MJF comes right in. Sammy goes, stop. I watched the show back last week. There was no one in that car. You left me. Friends don't leave friends. And MJF says, you're right. I should have been honest with you, and I wasn't. And now, so over a year now, I've had severe chronic back pain from carrying this company. And last week I'd have a huge flare-up. And I knew if I didn't lay down flat in the backseat of that car that it was not going to go away. I should have been honest with you, but I was afraid you would think I was a wimp, and you wouldn't want to be my friend. You're right. I'm a horrible friend. You deserve better. So he turns to walk away, and then Sammy grabs by the wrist and says, Max, pulls MJF in, kisses him on the forehead. I should have never doubted you. And MJF says, buddy, I'm so emotionally drained right now. Can you talk to the people about this main event tonight? And Sammy says, you got it. You marks are going to be in the mud because the main event at Double or Nothing is going to be MJF versus Sammy Guevara. And then MJF pipes in and says, that's right. And he's going to lay down for me like a little, like my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, I got her theme music matched up, like a mashup. And Sammy's like, oh, a mashup. Thank you. And then they hug.
Yeah. It's a little off. It's a little off.
It is. Because, again, if this is Sammy manipulating MJF to get what he wants, that makes sense.
That would make some sense, yeah.
But based on how Ty Mello was talking to Sammy last week, it was like, no, didn't seem like that was the case. And based on everything we saw, like he's not getting an opportunity to show this was all just, a plot on Sammy's part to earn himself the main event, or to guarantee himself that main event spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, we had a Kenny Omega promo. He was with Don Callis. He says, John Moxley, Kenny Omega. John Moxley, Kenny Omega. You told me that you're so excited to show me this brand new version of yourself. That something has changed. You've got this big, grandiose plan to reveal to the whole world. Iron sharpens iron. Callis interrupts and says, he's got a plan, right? You got a plan, John? That's a new one. Look at this, John. And he's got that big scar on his head. He says, every day I have to look at that as a reminder of what you did to me. Suspected skull fracture, 23 stitches. Oof. Every day I think about you, and every day I remember that you might have the heaviest hands in pro wrestling, John. But in a battle of wills between those heavy hands and this brain and that talent, you'll lose every time. But you're blind to it because you're a sick, twisted, narcissist sociopath. And you're going to find out in Detroit that it's all going to come to an end when you meet the god of pro wrestling. Then Kenny continues, says, when you meet me between those ropes, John, you know there's no plan in the universe where you can touch me. You surround that ring with a cage. We all know you can fight. I know better than anyone. Heck, you might make me bleed. You might make yourself bleed. But at the end of the day, everything comes to an end in Detroit. You're not going to be the one left standing. This whole effort between you and the Blackpool Combat Club is going to be fruitless. What you did to me, what you did to the Young Bucks, what you did to Keshta, what you did to Dawn, you made it personal. It ends next week.
You didn't mention Page. Hangman.
He didn't mention Hangman Page. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break here. If you're watching here on YouTube right now on VOD, if you could, please. Appreciate it. We got 371 people watching right now live. If you could, just thumbs up. Give us a like. If you're new to Going in Raw, you like what you hear from this brand new podcast. Only been doing this a matter of a few weeks.
Just a couple weeks now.
Just a couple weeks.
It was like mid-April that we started this.
Yeah. So if you like what you hear, like what you see, subscribe, hit that notify bell. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd
be fantastic.
After that, Wardlow versus some poor son of a bitch.
Oh, man, this guy got destroyed.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He didn't get a move off. It was spine buster, clothesline, 4 power bombs? Wardlow wins again. So Wardlow's music plays. He grabs a mic. It's like, hey, truck, turn the music off. I'm not done yet. I could do this all day. I haven't even broken a sweat, but I know there's a guy back there who's looking to cut the line, but doesn't have the balls to get in this ring. So, Christian, I'm demanding an open challenge. Bring your monster out here so we can do this right here, right now in Baltimore. So, Christian, Luchosaurus, come to the ramp, and Christian tells the crowd to keep it down because I got some business to conduct. He says, now, Wardlow, I could send my right-handed destruction down to that ring and take that TNT title from you if I wanted it to happen right now, but that's not going to happen, because especially not in Baltimore, because you see, title shot doesn't belong to him. Title shot belongs to me. And then Christian laughs and backs up the ramp, and Luchosaurus stares at Wardlow for a second, then follows him up.
So the problem with this, of course, is that it's far less intimidating for Christian to take on Wardlow than for Luchosaurus to. It's like, oh, hey, this relatively young guy who looks like an absolute monster, like a literal monster, like a dinosaur, he's not the guy getting the shot. It's the guy who's pushing 50 and loses every match he's in.
But the thing is that Christian has manipulated this dinosaur man to such an extent that he feels like, I'm going to use it strictly for my benefit and not his.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's also like, you're not going to have to worry about the guy who doesn't lose matches, but I am going to be the one to take the title off you because you're going to be worrying about this guy on the outside, you know?
What they should do is have a match, not a title match, between Wardlow and Luchosaurus, where Luchosaurus could soften up Wardlow.
Yeah, right, yeah.
For Christian.
Yeah.
And then Christian still loses.
Yeah, look, I don't care if it's Luchosaurus or Christian. They're both going to lose this match. Whoever gets the title shot is going to lose this match. I thought it was funny because, like, I don't know because they cut to Wardlow's face afterwards, and it's like, what is his reaction supposed to be? Like, okay, you're like 50 years old, dude.
Try to hit me with a kill switch, dude.
like you look like you play tennis. Like what? Like come on! What? I'm supposed to be scared of you? Come on! Like Jungle Boy's like a normal sized guy. Wardlow is huge, and he's supposed to be scared of this guy? I don't think so.
Yeah, I know. Next, this was awesome. We had Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh visit the Briscoe family chicken farm.
Great!
This was so good.
I loved every bit of this. So they show up at his doorstep.
Yeah.
And they've got Sanjay and Singh have overalls on, like some denim overalls on.
Yeah.
They're ready to do some farm
No shirt. Dutt
no shirt.
Singh, no overalls, no shirt underneath.
Right.
Great.
Jeff Jarrett was wearing like a My World shirt, a polo with some gloves on, and Jay Lethal just dressed normal. Right. And so, like, Mark comes out, and Jeff Jarrett says, "What a beautiful young girl," because he's got his baby with him, and he's like, "Boy," and he just hands the child off to Satnam Singh. They go do some farm work because they're gonna butter him up, and so as they're doing all this stuff, Papa Briscoe shows up. And they sort of, they're like, Jeff Jarrett, who's Sanjay's Jeff Jarrett's sitting in the rocker. That's right. He had his guitar with him.
He's about to sing with my baby tonight. Yeah.
He's about to sing with my baby tonight. And then, and that's when Papa Briscoe walks up and they're like, "Oh, hi, sir." And it's like they're teenagers. And Jeff Jarrett gets up from the rocker's like, "You could take my rocker here." Yeah. And so they go down there and they're playing with the baby. And they do a close up. This baby is just like, what is happening right now? And so Papa Briscoe's like, "Hey, I know you've known Jay Lethal for a long time, but you can't trust any of those other guys, especially the guy in the overalls." Mark says, "Which one?" And he says, "Both of them." Oh, man, this is good. So then, like, they're trying to butter him up. They're like, Jay Lethal says, I beat Cash Wheeler. Jeff Jarrett beat Dax, but we're looking to beat FTR. You guys beat FTR. How'd you do it?
Yeah.
And Mark's like, is that what this is all about? They're like, no.
But then Jarrett goes, let's go fishing and talk strategy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, man, this brought me so much joy to my heart. I could watch outtakes of this all day long.
Oh, yeah. It was so good. It was so good. Absolutely amazing. Then we got Ricky Starks versus Steve's new favorite wrestler, Juice Robinson.
Big L for Juice Robinson.
Yeah, massive. But we knew this was coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The beginning of this match was tons of fun when it was like all on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Ricky body slammed Juice off the ring steps on the floor. Ow, that thud.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt, dude.
Yeah, but Ricky Starks gets the win. Hits a spear, follows with Rochambeau because Jay White wasn't ringside. However, Jay White attacks Ricky after the match. Jay's looking for a Blade Runner. Ricky escapes that, looking for a Rochambeau, but then Juice gets Jay out of that predicament. You got to think this is the double or nothing match, yeah?
Who wins?
Oh, Switchblade has to win this, right?
Ooh. Ricky Starks. Momentum killed at Double or Nothing at pay-per-view?
His momentum was killed halfway through the Jericho feud, man.
I know, man, but god damn. We were like,
no, I know.
This guy might take the title off MJF. Guess what? Not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, because you're right. Jay White's got to win that. You're right.
Yeah,
that's got to be the pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
Unless they do like a Dynamite match beforehand, Jay White wins that, and then they do a steel cage match at the pay-per-view. Ricky Starks wins that.
Jay White ain't losing a match in a while in AEW. I'll tell you that.
I know, you're right. I'm just trying to figure some things out.
I know it's it's a weird first feud for Jay White because you thought they had plans for Ricky. I mean, we've seen in All Access, we saw Tony Khan's 14x11 piece of paper folded in half with all his plans on there, and I thought there was a pretty good trajectory for Ricky Starks amongst all that stuff.
No,
but
as
with the Jericho feud, the feud told in reverse. Yeah. I guess in a sense, Ricky Starks is where he would have been if they'd start the Jericho feud at the end of the Jericho feud. It was a feud told in reverse.
Ricky Starks' new gimmick is Benjamin Button of wrestling.
Pretty much.
It's all going down
Memento
in reverse.
storyline, yeah.
He had the Memento storyline. Oh man. Anyways, after that match, because we already went over the finish there. We had a firm deletion video package. This would be a lot of fun. It's on Is it on Rampage?
Yeah, it's on Rampage this Friday.
It's on Rampage?
Yeah, no.
A reason to tune into Rampage, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, this was it highlighted the whole storyline between the firm and Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're backstage, and Darby and Jungle Boy are warming up for the match. It's getting stretched, getting loose.
Yep.
Darby leaves, and MJF steps in right as Darby's turning the corner. And it says, Jungle Boy, I'm not trying to fight. I just want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that if you cut the whole goody two-shoes routine, they'd be the top of the sport. I still think you and me could be the top of this company. Look what I've done for Sammy. He's never had more money. He's never had more fame. He's never had more airtime, and he's never been more over. You're twice the wrestler he is. Just think what I could do for you in your career. All you got to do tonight is betray a man to Darby Allin that you don't even like. I know what you're thinking. Why would I cost myself a shot at the AEW title? And the answer is simple. Jack, I love you like a brother, but you're not world champion material, and there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm offering you is a spot next to the throne. And so he puts his hand on Jungle Boy's shoulder, and Jack swipes it away and says, I'm not looking for a spot next to the throne. I'm looking for the crown. At Double or Nothing, I'm becoming world champ without being a piece of trash like you. And so Darby comes back in, and MJF goes, oh, just talking. That's it. And he leaves. So then Jack tells Darby, oh, don't worry about it. Nothing to worry about. We've got this. And Darby goes, no, I've got this.
I've got this. It's showtime. Yeah.
And that's turned out what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because we had that match, Jungle Boy and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and MJF. There was a lot of fun character stuff here. Like you said, the match was a lot of fun. A lot of cool stuff going on. The finish. So Sammy tags in. He goes up top. MJF tags himself in. Sammy hits a swanton. MJF just covers. I was like, MJF, at least do a secondary move or something.
I know.
He just goes for the cover. Jungle Boy kicks out. Sammy's like, what the heck is going on, man? Why are you doing this? MJF was like, eye on the prize. Come on, we're just trying to win this. So MJF looks for a powerbomb. Sammy tags in. MJF hits
the powerbomb where
hits the powerbomb on the knee thing, which it never looks good. Sammy covers. Jungle Boy kicks out. MJF and Sammy argue some more. MJF then slaps Sammy. Sammy responds with a super kick. Jungle Boy rolls up Sammy, gets 2, follows the super kick. Darby tags in. Jungle Boy hits Sammy with a sliding forearm, but then because Darby had already tagged in, he just starts on the coffin drop, and Jack has to get out of the way.
Yeah,
and
Jungle Boy already covered Sammy, yeah.
Right, exactly. And so he has to get out of the way, otherwise he's going to get hit with a coffin drop. Mm-hmm. Of course, Darby hits that flush on Sammy Guevara and gets the win here. And then, of course, Jack Perry's like, what the heck, man? I wanted that win. And he's like, what does it matter? Like, we won, know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but he's like, you almost hit me with a coffin drop.
Yeah.
So, good stuff. And, of course, MJF beside himself, like you said, can't get out of his own way.
Yeah, in the end, just couldn't get out of his own way. Yep. Mm-hmm. Did you watch All Access?
I did not. I just saw the bit that you were talking about because somebody put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
With the crinkled up 11x14 legal paper.
Yeah.
Of all the booking and stuff.
Yeah, where Sammy's like, hey, what do you have planned for me? And then Tony Khan busts that out and starts pointing. Well, you're here and over here and over here and this with that and here and stuff. Kenny had his first appearance on the show.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, Britt goes to him and says, Austin, Adam Cole, is going to be taking, that might be taking bumps, and I'm really worried about him. And Kenny's like, yeah, he's got to be really careful because, 2 concussions real quick in quick succession is not good. How about this? I'll be there. What if I'm there? I can help him through it. If I see he's going too far, I can put a stop to it. Mm-hmm. It's like, great idea. So Adam Cole's there with someone from AEW's medical staff, and Kenny's there. So they just have Adam Cole run the ropes a few times. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I'm feeling a little dizzy. Mm-hmm. And the trainer's like, all right, let's take a minute and then start doing some quarter roll, I think they're called. And Kenny goes, well, how about this? I'll go in there with them, and so he can get the timing right. Mm-hmm. And the trainer's like, cool. And so they do that. And the trainer's like, all right, looks good. No bumps today. We'll check back in a couple of days to see how you feel and go from there. You can show up at the Dynamite in LA. Mm-hmm. That's kind of it. Okay. And it was a lot of Sammy like, what am I doing? I have a match with Mox. My mom came to the show in Austin, but I didn't wrestle that night. What are my plans? And then more the Ty Mello, Ruby Soho stuff.
Awkward situation where Tony's got the booking piece of paper out, and Sammy's like, can I do more single stuff? How about some more single stuff in there? Can you write that on there?
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Like, I don't think we're gonna do that.
He's like, no, you like the Garcia stuff with Starks and trios matches. That's a good spot.
You be trios with Jericho. That's a good spot to be.
Yeah, and Sammy's like, all right, well,
can you just write on there singles match?
Fine.
Right there in that spot right there.
Just write it in right there.
Tony's like, look, I'll just get rid of another women's match. Nobody cares.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Anyways, you want to answer some questions?
Sure. We got a question here from Patrick Kennedy. It's not wrestling related, but it asks, what are each of your top 5 movie directors and why?
Oh, wow. Wowie, wow. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Well, I mean, obviously Scorsese's in there. Kubrick's in there. For me, well, man, I don't know. I've revisited a lot of Quentin Tarantino stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. It sort of appealed to me more when I was younger. So I don't know that he would be in there anymore.
Yeah.
But, Kubrick and Scorsese. Paul Thomas Anderson, totally one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for The Godfather, I wouldn't put Francis Ford Coppola in there. I don't think he's really done anything else. I'm like, oh wow, those are really good.
There's conversation. Apocalypse Now really hasn't done anything much after post-apocalypse now.
Yeah.
He's made plenty of movies, but just nothing that's really resonated the same way.
Yeah. I'd put, it's funny because like half of his stuff is like, but half of his stuff is really good. David Fincher. Mm-hmm. I put him in there. Mm-hmm. Like, especially his work in the 90s. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, he did 7 and Fight Club, like, back to back. He did The Game. The Game was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think, Game was a lot of fun. Zodiac, of course.
He was, Zodiac is, like, one of my favorites. He did, also, he did, like, the pilot. He sort of did the pilot for Mindhunters on Netflix, which I really love that show.
EP on that, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was, yeah. God, this is one of those on the spot questions. I'm sort of drawing a blank.
Well, I'll agree with you on Kubrick, Scorsese, probably PTA. I'll say Werner Herzog.
Oh yeah, he's classic.
And then
Orson Welles is my number 5. Orson
that's good.
That dude,
I'll say the Coen brothers.
Himself. Oh, what a great pick! Yeah, that's a good one. Boy, they're good. They're so good.
Oh yeah,
they really are. All right, let's dive into some wrestling questions here.
Let's do it. Alex Foster says, "What 4 Pillars member would probably be the easiest to hang out with in character?" Easiest to hang out with in character? Jungle Boy. Yeah. He just seems like a mellow dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so I feel bad for this one. Roy Costin, I know he's heavy here in the community. He's a channel member. I have no idea. He says, with Dark and Elevation done, who would you consider the 4 stabilizing posts, because he's over the term pillar, of Dark and Elevation?
Interesting.
For a while, it was like pre-Ring of Honor, wasn't it? Athena, wasn't she on Dark and Elevation a lot?
Yeah.
That's where she had her heel turn, I think.
Like Joey Janela was on Dark and Elevation a ton.
That's a good point. Yeah,
he had a really good match against Kenny on there. The entirety of the Joey Janela Sonny Kiss feud happened on the YouTube show. So a lot of people here in chat are saying Emi Sakura.
Yeah. Oh, Heather Wright says 7 totally messes with me. Watched it once in the theater, never again. The scene in 7 that always gets to me is the dude with the knife on the apparatus.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then when they go in there and they think that dude's dead, and he's like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
The air fresheners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was messed up.
It was messed up. That was a messed up.
Oh boy.
Luis asks, is this the optimal time for a 4 Pillars fatal 4-way? Should they have waited or done it sooner?
I think, you know what, man? It's something that you and I had advocated for in our Fix AEW video. You know what? Let them let the pillars fly, man. Let them do their thing. Just do it. Yeah.
Zach the Hack here asks, got tickets to see All In. It's my first wrestling show. I'm so excited. What sign should I bring to represent going in Raw?
I mean, just a big old sign that says Friendo Club, man.
That's good. Yeah.
That's what I'd say. Or I'm a depth guy. Black Stranger says, hey, gentlemen, so I asked the Discord this question. I want to bring it to you. As someone who does not watch AEW, does bringing in Will Washington do anything for you? I don't follow Will, so I don't know. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Bring him in, and if you surround yourself with good, smart people, good things will happen.
Yeah. Elvin here asks, hey there, friendos. As we stand right now with Cody's current role, who has gotten the best of Cody's signing, Cody or WWE?
Who's gotten the best of Cody's signing, Cody or WWE?
Cody. I'm sure he's making a ton of money.
I mean, they've both benefited greatly.
They have, although I would give the edge to WWE if Cody had won at WrestleMania. Because it was really deflating for a lot of people when Cody lost.
Oh, yeah. Man, the opinions on that are so... I mentioned this to you the other day. Yeah. Like, in my WrestleJuice video comments about, like, is Cody still... Because somebody posed the question, is Cody still the guy to beat Roman? They are all over the place.
I know.
But almost none of them are, like... Well, I'm not going to say none. It's like 80% negative. Mm-hmm. Like, Cody was never the guy. This was totally deflating. There's like barely any, like 20% maybe, or like, oh, this is a long-term story. Like, let's see this thing through.
Yeah.
But like, oh, they missed their opportunity. He was never the guy, et cetera, et cetera. People are not happy with this decision for a variety of reasons.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a month later, you hop on social media and still people are like, oh, they blew their chance with Cody beating Roman at Mania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But let's see here.
Sebastian Garcia, which AEW wrestler would you least want to take a shoot finisher from?
Oh,
Wardlow. I want to take 8 power bombs.
Yeah, Wardlow. The Rochambeau looks kind of sketchy too. Like at a certain point, your head is heading towards the ground, and then he's got to flip you over. I don't like that.
Yeah,
and he's kind of small, so like a bigger dude like me taking that, that sounds terrifying. Jonathan Vieira says, which big hoss has the best chance of becoming world champion in AEW? It's Wardlow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who else is there? Hager, Archer. I mean, I'd love for it to be Hobbs, but was he even on Dynamite this week?
Yeah, he was in the Trios Battle Royal. He eliminated the Lucha Brothers.
Who was he in there with?
Who do you think? QTV, man.
Oh, my God.
It was QT and Solo. And then I think on Rampage that he's got a match.
Okay, well, that's good. Him just solo?
No, it's with QT.
No.
I think it's Hobbs, QT, and Solo against Lucha Brothers and Vikingo. Which that's a great team. Lucha Brothers and Vikingo. Holy shit.
Oh, that's a holy shit team. Don't get me wrong. That's a holy shit team.
Yeah.
They're also going to holy shit win that match.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't. Blake Whitehouse says, instead of the main event, what should be the opener of All In be? What should open All In? What should be the first match of All In to get the crowd really excited?
You got to put somebody a UK guy in there or gal in there.
So Kip Sabian.
Not that guy. Pac. Bring Pac. Where's Pac been?
I don't know.
I've been at home, you busted.
Pac against who?
Pac versus
CM Punk?
No, Orange Cassidy. Have him win the All International title. That's
Again?
your opener. Yeah, 2-time, baby.
All right.
Well, no. Be first time. Because that was the All Atlantic title.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Same lineage, though, isn't it?
Listen, man, it was leveled up.
Oops. I
Is
forgot
it?
about
I
that.
thought it was a brand new adventure.
I don't know, man. It's all so confusing.
I thought Orange Cassidy was the last All Atlantic guy and the first international
Could be.
guy.
That could be.
Let's see. Some of these questions I just don't know how to answer. Fuzzy says, what is stopping Tony Khan from booking the TNT title in a sensible, meaningful way? Probably because his booking is on like a sweaty, rolled up piece of paper.
Yeah. I mean, you could ask that same question about just about any division in AEW.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just because, you know why? Because he's about to sell probably 90,000 tickets at Wembley, so why change anything?
Exactly.
He thinks he has it right.
He's got no reason to change in his mind because he's about to sell 90,000 tickets.
Yeah, right.
He's getting himself a new Saturday TV show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Time War, which is going to make this company a bunch of money probably. Time War here says, should there be a concern that All In is a week before All Out? Could they treat one of these shows with less care than the other? That's possible.
I saw like a ton of shock and surprise when the actual date was announced for All Out. I was like, do you guys not pay attention? It's always been on that weekend. They weren't going to change that.
No.
No.
Here's the hope, though. Here's the hope, because usually for AEW pay-per-views, they have like 15 matches.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You know, instead of jamming as many matches as they try to onto one day, take half the matches you're going to book for All Out, put them in All In, and the other half at All Out.
That's a sensible thing, but I ain't going to have
7 matches for one show, 7 for the other.
15. You're looking at 30 matches over 2 big shows. That's what's going to happen, man.
It's going to be exhausting.
That's what's going to happen.
Chris Stanton here asks, would you headline Wembley with FTR Punk versus the Elite? Do Kenny versus Punk one-on-one the next week at All Out or vice versa?
Kenny versus
First of all,
Punk
they ain't working together.
You don't think so? Yeah. No, you're right. They're not.
They ain't working together.
They're brand splitting. They're not going to work together.
They ain't working together.
Oof.
So it's more like Jericho Appreciation Society versus Punk and FTR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what you're going to get.
That is what you're going to get.
So you're going to get FTR, Punk versus Jericho, Garcia, and Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, and then at the next show, you're going to get Punk versus Jericho. Yeah. Yep. And then we're going to be talking in our post show. We're going to be like watching, the live chat blow up. We're going to watch Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter account talk about, Matt Jackson and CM Punk Edwards backstage. Somebody threw a table. Deddy says, how great would it be to replace Sammy Guevara with Britt Baker in the Four Pillars match? That wouldn't really make any sense right now. Besides, I feel like Sammy is a pillar. I feel like Jack Perry's probably the least pillar. You'd
least
replace
pillar
Britt
of the pillars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really see him as a pillar, to be honest.
Alicia Harding here asks, why should Bianca Belair win again?
Oh, man, because she's the best. EST.
Yeah.
She's the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
She's the coolest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love Io, though. Io's great, but Bailey's going to cost her that title.
Yep.
Speaking of which, our predictions are up
Yes.
for Backlash. It's up at the Friendo Club Wrestling channel. We got all sorts of great content over there, so be sure to go subscribe to that channel as well. Is that going to do it for us?
I think so.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.